Hey everybody, good evening. Thank you all so much for coming. It's a really nice day outside, and although it's not blazingly hot, I'm glad you could all make it. We get to work together in person tonight. We'll be doing mob programming. Um, I'm really excited. I'm really curious to see how your experience with mob programming differ from your pair programming experiences. And I want to dive into it shortly. So let's do Prime Minister's questions first. So I want to open up any questions that people bring to class tonight. Anything about Project 3 or any questions about Project 4? What do you think about Project 3? How did it compare, contrast? The formatter was a little particular. Say more. For the date formatter and everything, yeah, and like, yeah. So I think there's a lot of good conversation about this on Slack, and actually it made me realize there are a couple of notes that I can put in for next time. So yeah, did most of you end up using like the dot of method with then like a format for things? I think that's probably the most flexible and the easiest overall.
I was using the of pattern when I initially started using the datetime object with Project 1 on my Windows PC, and then when I tried it on the Linux servers, they bonked out on the of pattern, cannot find method, cannot import class. So I switched to a datetime formatter builder
Okay.
Instead, and appending patterns to that. But then about 2 weeks ago, of pattern started working, and you didn't need to do a datetime formatter builder. So they updated something.
Interesting, yeah. Or
that works.
I wonder if there's different jobs on different Linux machines.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Okay.
I just pointed.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Okay. Yep. Good. Okay. Anybody have a chance to break ground on Project 4 yet on the REST API? Anything? Yeah, you're already smart. What are you talking about? I just finished Project 3 like 2 minutes ago. Okay, cool. Excellent. Good deal. Well, that's due next week. Let me know how it goes. And because as I think you all may recall from the lecture a couple weeks ago, Project 4 is different. You've got two programs talking to each other. You've got the servlet. Hopefully the refactoring that we did a week ago helps get you started or at least get you oriented towards where you're going to go there. So, but again, as you encounter things that maybe are a little foreign or are immediately apparent to you, please reach out.
Hoping it's similar to similar interfaces. Similar enough.
I think, well, yeah, I haven't used ASP.NET, and so then, remember, we're not building web pages here, we're building a web application, so it's maybe a little different. It's not HTML coding, it's all Java and stuff, but yeah, let me know how it goes. Okay. So, we'll be working in the Cause repository tonight, so please make sure that your checkout is up to date. You should have 2 additional projects. There's the tennis project, and there's a bunch of bank OCR projects. That's what we'll be working with tonight. On Monday, I gave a 15-minute or so introduction to mob programming, so I'm not going to go into details. I posted the link to this handout in chat if you want to read along or read ahead. We're going to be doing a couple things tonight. First, we're going to spend, well, I don't know, I'm going to try to be done by like 7, doing an operating theater exercise again. You might recall from pair programming, operating theater is an opportunity for you to see others doing, in this case, mob programming before you need to do it yourself. I think that will be that will give you a feeling for what it's all about. And we're going to be doing a tennis kata. And so I'll talk about the kata shortly, but if you'd like to participate in the operating theater, and I do need 4 volunteers, please sign up by adding your name to the pom.xml for the tennis project. So please find the pom.xml for tennis right here. Sam, thanks for signing up. And anybody else? Let's see here if anybody signed up in the last couple of minutes. Please do that. We need a mob to show off, so no one has. So please volunteer for that. No, you don't need HDMI. So we'll all be using, so HDMI is just for the projector so everybody else can see. What we'll be doing, or actually what might work well, is joining the class Zoom without audio and then sharing your screen that way. That way one laptop can be plugged into the HDMI and that'll just display everything on the Zoom. We'll give that a try. Or at least that's what we'll do in the operating theater. We'll see if, we'll let you decide how well that works in the other mobbing. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll all figure it out. Sorry, where was I? Yes. So the tennis kata. So this is a simple kata that scores a game of tennis. Now, I hope enough people are familiar with tennis and how it's scored. As you may recall, each player has a score, and when you haven't scored yet, your score is said to be love, and then once you score, you get 15, then 30, then 40. I don't understand the pedigree of this, why they chose those numbers and the word love, but hey, that sounds nice. There's also some other rules for the scoring system for tennis. So when you get to 40, you win the game unless both players have 40. Then you're said to be at deuce. And that means you sort of reach an end, and then whoever scores 2 points more will win. And so once you win a point, then you're said to have an advantage. And then if the other person catches up, then if the other player catches up, you're back to deuce. And then you win once you're induced by, once you score again, if you're induced, then you win. And so what we'll be looking to do here is model how you score this. And this is an interesting kata because it really talks about sort of state transition and the scoring system here is kind of complicated. And so it really requires a lot of conversation to really to agree, hey, how, what are the rules here? What is the business logic that we need to implement? And then, of course, to do it. So again, the game is won by the player who has won at least 4 points and 2 more points than the opponent. And 0 to 3, which is love 15, 30, and 40. And this sort of repeats, I guess, the same thing, maybe in a different way, which might be easier to translate into a program. I don't know. We'll figure that out. And there's also, yes, this advantage, which means that previously they were a deuce and one player scores, that player is said to have the advantage. In general, people familiar with the scoring of tennis? Okay, yeah, most people, yeah, probably watched it on TV or maybe played yourself. Last time I did this, there was someone who had played tennis all growing up, and she was like, "I know exactly how to do this," and it was pretty awesome. I haven't watched tennis in a while. But anyway, so this is what we're going to do in the operating theater. And so then, just as a reminder of what mob programming is, I'll say myself. In mob programming, you have multiple people around a single screen. We'll start with 5. And I think that's probably about the size of each mob, so I think that'll be good. So tonight we have 5 stations that we can use, and we should probably use all 5. So you've got 4 or 5 people at a station. I brought HDMI cables that we can plug into the projectors around the room and the one up front. And because there are more people, the roles it's more important that, at least at the beginning, that the roles be followed with intent. So the first role is the driver. This is the person who is at the keyboard, and really they should be asking the navigator, what should I write? Because remember, mob programming is like pair programming isn't watching someone else code; it's coding with people, right? It is a collaborative effort, and that means that when your hands are on the keyboard, you're doing more typing than thinking, because the job of the thinking in that particular round is left to the navigator and the mobbers. Now, the navigator or the designated navigator is the person who really takes the ideas from the rest of the mob and provides them to the driver. And so then the navigator is kind of leading the discussion right away, getting the ideas and figuring out, okay, where should we go next with the implementation? What test should we write? What implementation should we write? And then everybody else for a given round in the mob is just a mobber, right? So they're there to provide their insights, their thoughts to the navigator, who then funnels it to the driver. And so what this allows you to do is leverage all the brains in the room, all the combined knowledge of everybody to move forward together. There's a lot of talking, there's a lot of coordination, but what you end up with is a faster route to a great solution. So, and so then, and so then here are some more resources, which we probably won't have time to look at tonight. So what I want to do quickly is go into the tennis kata, and then after that we will we'll do a different kata, the Bank OCR kata, which you can begin checking out now. But I do want everybody to watch what we're doing up here, and I don't know how well you'll be able to hear, so if you need to come closer for a little while, please do so. We'll be working up here, and I think we'll have everybody facing the projector so that we can see it most easily. So then our voices might not carry to the back of the room. And so then what we'll do in the operating theater is work on this tennis kata. We'll use that Pomodoro technique. So let's see here, I don't think, with 5 people, maybe that's 10 minutes, yeah. We'll do a round of 10 minutes. Let's just do 8 minutes followed by 2 minutes of reflection. We'll mob. I'll be the first designated driver, designated navigator to kick everything off. That means someone else will be the first driver. And we'll do a quick reflection and figure out if there's anything we want to do differently. And then we'll rotate. So then a designated navigator goes back to the mob. The driver becomes the next navigator. And then we'll find out, we'll choose someone else to be the new driver. So again, working in these Pomodoros. Let's not use code with me. I don't know, the shine for me is kind of worn off. Let's just push pull to our GitHub repository to share the code that way. So, do we have some volunteers? We do. Ethel, Puya. We could use a couple more, if you wouldn't mind. But in the meantime, let's get started. So let's see here. Sam and Ethel and Puya, would you mind coming up here with me? I'll just take this spot here on the end. And then please bring your laptop and connect to the Zoom. And what I'll put up here on the screen is the Zoom. Let's see here. I'll sit right here. Yeah, I'll sit here in front of my laptop and drive that. Awesome. Yep. Great. Well, we can spread out if you want. We can put it on their table. That's the thing about this room that I love, is that it's so easy to reconfigure and everything. So let's see here. I'm going to be the first navigator. Who will volunteer to be the first driver?
I'll go.
Okay. Yeah. So you'll join in a moment. Okay. You go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and share your screen. Actually, let's just take a couple of minutes. Let's take one round and talk about the. So maybe before you share the screen, let's get. That's a good point. I did not, as usual, I did not open up the. Let everybody share the screen. Oops. One participant at a time. All participants. Thanks, Andrew. Okay, let's. Do you have the kata up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah. Please share your screen. Let's talk about the kata. So, and I'll put, I don't know, I'll put 7 minutes on the board. So where do you want to start? Like, and what are your thoughts about the kata and what we need to do?
I feel like we might want to make 2 variables to keep track of the scores of both.
Okay, so right, yeah, either like 2 players and each has a
Yeah.
score and stuff. Okay, nice.
So the scores themselves, they would have like I guess like a structure of some kind, like the ordered
Yeah.
list that could be done.
And then someone want to make a couple notes on the whiteboard? You got these whiteboards, which we have markers. Yeah, there's black marker there.
We also got scratch paper here.
Okay, well, I mean, on the whiteboard we can see it all easier. We can go to the whiteboard
I have
if you want.
terrible handwriting, so.
Who doesn't, right?
No, mine's really bad.
Doctors.
I can't.
Yeah, right. My mother would be so happy. Yeah, that's right. Awesome, thanks, Ethel. So, okay, so like a data structure. So we're gonna have like two players, each has a score.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 players' scores, and yeah, and like what's the data structure? How do we want to represent the
Do we
score?
want to have a player just be a class that contains scores and has methods for handling?
I don't think it needs to be that complicated. I think we can keep it simple because the only thing we're really tracking is the score, not like what's going on in the game. So maybe we can just have one variable for like a string representing the score.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
And that could just be the whole player reference. Yeah.
What was that?
That could just be the whole reference to
Like
a player. Like just one string for the score of each player, and that's like how we.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So the score as a string. Okay. Nice. Okay. And so then that string would go from like love to 15. Yeah. 30. Cool. Okay. Yeah. To 40, and then we've got all the stuff. Okay. What should our first test be? Like, what do we want to do?
How does the score get updated though? Is it always added up by 10, 5? How do?
Well, these are strings.
I don't
too, right?
understand.
You just can't add.
There's no logic, like it comes from some.
That's what I was wondering. Do we
I think it
want
comes from
to?
French. But,
Sure, blame the French.
Yeah.
Do we want it to be an integer instead, and assign
Yeah.
an integer to represent love? Because then we can do math on it.
Well, so what I had in mind was that it's like an array list.
Yeah, what if we have like an array, and then if we find it in the index, we just append it, we just increment it.
Oh, so what if the player representations are just indexes of where the score is? So they're actually just integers that show the position within the array.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, we'll have this in an array, and then just index into it. Okay. So each player has an index. Okay.
That's what makes this sort of a challenging problem, is that there's no logic to the actual implementation of the score.
Nice. So what's the first test that we want to write?
You come back there.
I do. That's how we get started.
That the array of scores is initialized.
Compile the object.
Okay. Yeah.
I would just think like something basic, like what do we want the score to start on for each player? Like if you were to create a like instance of the main class,
Right.
like what would you get out if you just like finished it right then and there, didn't do anything with the score?
So like initially each player has love. Okay. Oh, and then we can do like a given when then. Okay. So given when then. Okay, so I guess so given like new game, or new tennis match or whatever we want to call it. Tennis match. Then so when nothing, then each player has love.
Should I start?
Hasn't beeped yet.
Oh, okay.
So okay, we've done this one. Like, what's a good second test case?
you increment the list.
Okay, so then, another new tennis match, and so then when like player one scores, player one scores, then player one. Oh, actually, how about we just do this? Is there an eraser? No, can someone toss me an eraser? Is there an eraser? Pay your tuition so we can afford nice things like erasers. No, you got one over there? No. Okay. So I need a handkerchief or whatever. Oh, awesome! Thank you. Okay, how about we do it this way? Then we'll say, then like player one score. Let's have two columns. So then player one score, and then player two score. So here they're both love, and then when player one scores, then player one has 15, which I had a piece of paper. Oh well, 15, and then still love over here. Okay, nice. And so then for my player two scores. Okay. Any other sort of like primary test cases that we want to call out, or like anything about
I
it?
guess
Yeah.
I would think about the next thing being when you have like a deuce condition or
Yeah.
an advantage condition. So the deuce condition would be both of them have scored 3 times, I believe, and then each of them would be should be equal to deuce in that condition.
Okay, so like that case, the score is what? Like,
40-40, I think.
well, you get to do. So this is the case where you get to do. So it's
Or
that's
do we
30-40.
flip a deuce flag and sets it into advantage?
Okay, so we're saying a
Dead
starting
drop mode?
condition.
No.
Right, yeah, so if it's 30-40, and then if this is player one, it's player two. Player one scores.
Mhm.
Because I think the win is going to end up being like the methods, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be like the actions, yeah.
I would say
And
so.
then I guess so like each of them. So how do we represent that? So it's like the score of player one deuce. How does that?
I would say both of them turns to deuce.
Okay.
Because that's what they say. If the scores are equal, the score is deuce.
Yeah.
So
so
each
it's-
of them should probably be equal to deuce.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so
What I would think there is having an if statement somewhere in there that just checks that condition to see if they're equal and that they're higher, like they're past a certain point in the array, and then at the end, you can just replace the whatever score we get and just return like deuce.
So we just need like we need a score checker function. A score check, a function to check if the status should be deuce, and then when they're in deuce, a function to check for advantage or winner of.
That's
Okay,
where
okay.
it starts to get. Yeah, that's where it starts. I'm more open to what y'all think about that because I'm a little bit at a loss with the advantage logic.
Nice. Okay, well we can figure it out. Yay! Awesome. Cool. Okay. 2 minutes retrospective. How'd that go? What did you think? What was?
That was good. I feel like we have a lot of stuff figured out in terms of how we want to start implementing this. But I
Yeah.
also think there's going to be a few edge cases we still haven't yet been able to consider fully that we'll probably run into shortly here.
How are people feeling about your ability to contribute? And everybody feeling heard?
I don't know anything about tennis, so I feel a little lost in some of the discussion. But
Okay. No. Thanks for thanks for admitting that. I think it's important to. Yeah. Anybody here a tennis pro?
No.
Like it's Serena Williams or nothing like that. Okay.
that's why I volunteered to be told what to type.
Smart.
First,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'll get my brain in the mood.
A lot of times we're gonna.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The only time that I get to work on things that I know is like here in class.
Can
Awesome.
we phone a SME?
Yeah. Well, no. We've got like now we've got all the SME that we need right here. All the brilliant minds. Okay. Ready to get started? Okay, so I'm going to be the first driver. Let's get started then. I'll put another 7 minutes on. So I'm. Let's see here. Yeah, where should we start?
So you know, can you from horizontal?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Can someone get the lights over there, maybe? Try the other one. Okay. Oh, there. Oh no. Let's. I can see that. Okay. Is that
Yeah.
okay? Yeah. Yeah. Great. No lights are all the lights. Okay. Yeah. Let's start. So. Okay. So Mob. What would you recommend that we start with? Okay. Make a test case. Okay. So yeah. So can we start a new test case for how about just for this first one? This first one, and any recommendations on what we call the method?
Sweet. Is that create match?
Okay, so yeah, new match. Well, yeah, I think I would
So
go
we
with
kinda-
something like, yeah, what,
Or like players start at love?
yeah, maybe that player start at love. I like that. Nice.
Can you make your font bigger?
Oh, yeah. Scrolls.
Control.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Good or more bigger?
A little bit bigger.
Yeah, probably two. Alt shift less. Or alt shift high.
Oh, is that what that was? Interesting. Cool. Or not? Yeah, it's too many. Yeah, I have the same things going back in mind.
Oh, and I think it's because I've got.
That's good. Good. So yeah, we have our new tennis object. And,
Well, we should put it in a variable, I think.
Okay.
Rather than just letting it sit out there. We
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
var, or I don't know, tennis t equals new tennis. Well, what's this warning we're getting on?
yeah, the
tennis?
yellow underline. Kind of curious about that.
What's
Can you
that?
mind hovering over it?
Oh, it's just.
Oh, it has no methods yet, so I think it's a
Yeah.
utility class. Okay, that's yes, patience intelligent. Okay.
T.
So it's great that you're typing. Can you also speak so you can say what it is that you're doing?
Okay, I was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just doing what he's saying.
But I'm navigator, so
Alright.
you should tell me what to tell him.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I was thinking we should put an assert that and just assume that the tennis match has players. And check for the
Okay.
players.
So yeah, so we'll write an assertion saying that the score, well, probably two assertions, the score of each player is love.
So maybe we kind of start thinking about what method we would write within tennis to get the player scores.
Well, let's do red green refactor, and so let's make it red first, but then yeah. Oh,
Is that
has
what we want?
players?
Or not?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm
Yeah,
wondering.
okay,
so,
right,
like,
yeah.
Get
What
player one.
method are we even like
Yeah.
gonna think to call?
Okay.
In the first place, like what are we even gonna do? I would think that tennis could have a method on it, like an object method on there.
Yep.
Non-static. It could basically look at those and just return based on like did you put one or two?
Oh,
Maybe,
okay.
Like get player one score.
Yeah, get player one
two
score and get player two score. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah.
So and then we can assert that each of those is love.
Right. And I mean, I think that score, I mean, is an integer or is it a string? We were talking
Oh, it's a
about
string,
representing
right.
these as a string. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, would it make sense to just have
Oh.
map of one goes to zero goes to one?
Maybe in the implementation,
Yeah.
but you know, this is sort of the external
I
API,
think the
right? So
external
I think,
facing
yeah.
should always return
Yeah.
string.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
The
Yeah.
function get players, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
should always give you back the string
Yeah.
representation. And then on the back end, we'll have like
And these will,
index based, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. The implementation. Okay. Yeah. Equal to, I always forget it. Yeah. You got to import it.
Yeah, we got to
You better
import a
pay.
lot.
Yeah.
But it looks like, it basically looks like IntelliJ knows what you want to import, so maybe you can listen.
Should I capitalize that?
Oh, it should be lowercase or capital.
That equal to is correct. I don't know. I don't know if it makes a difference.
Matchers, I think.
Thanks.
Yeah. So it should be lowercase or uppercase. What was the, or it should be all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really arbitrary, so
It's
Yeah.
10 seconds.
it doesn't matter. I have a feeling we're writing it down to a constant anyway.
I think
So-
I think I like the capitalized case. I like
Yeah, yeah, shout it further. Love! Yeah, it's emphatic. Okay,
All right.
nice. Okay, well, we've got some red here on the screen, so we'll get rid of that red.
Do the other one too.
These are the nice IntelliJ features.
Yep.
I guess, did we want to just make one function and you pass an integer for which player you want?
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
I was thinking that, but there's never going to be more than 2 players.
I mean,
Yeah,
or we
I
write
totally
one
agree.
function and these 2 functions call that one function, and that's a private.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
that's-
once we get there, we can refactor to that, I would say. But let's at least get something that compiles first. So, right, because if you get some red here on line 19, so
Let's just have them both return love at first. Just like here, return like a literal.
I would suggest that, but we want to see it fail. So we want to see a red, right? So let's just have these return null initially.
Or
Yeah.
just an empty string, yeah.
Or something else. Something that's not love. Nice. Okay. So yeah, let's run the test and see how it goes.
It's just being slow.
Okay. Expected love, but was null. Excellent. Okay. Make it past number 1.
All right, we just want to return love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be the easiest way to make it pass without writing more tests.
We want to do both.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
we,
Might as well. Yeah. Might as well do both.
we are testing both.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I think having them separated here is gonna make our life easier because we're probably gonna have 2 separate variables for each of the like score positions, anyways.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. We did the red. We did the green. Any opportunities for refactoring?
We'll go back to the.
Well, I'm thinking
This is repetitive code.
Well, we're at the end of the time box, so let's do a retrospective real quick. So, can you commit and push, please?
Oh yeah. I don't know if there's much repetition we can cut down on this yet.
I saw the magic constant with love, but we can come back to that once in the next round. Okay, how did they go? What'd you think?
I thought that was nice. I think we got like that first little test finish, right? So like kind of our first goal is complete, I guess. So,
Yeah, we run our first test and made it pass. That's good.
And I think we're now kind of in the territory where perhaps we get a little closer to what being able to actually implement those variables and kind of get the scores actually tracking within the class. So maybe that would be something to consider. Like I think going forward is just like, what are we gonna do now? Like what are the next steps for getting those data members in the class?
Yeah, yeah.
How are we gonna navigate that? Like is the array gonna be like a constant with all of the values in it, or is that even possible in Java? I don't really know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Nice. How's the dynamic of the mob going? What was it like being the driver? How did it feel?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do mob programming with my capstone group right now every
there you go.
Thursday, so.
Hold that, well experienced. Great. What was it like being part of the mob? How did you do as the navigator?
Pretty good. Yeah.
What were some things that were effective that I did? That you like other future navigators to do?
I guess gathering information from each person,
Oh, okay.
putting them together.
Yeah, kind of keep coalescing it into more unified,
Cool.
getting us going.
Anything that was like, that wasn't so good, or like, let's be careful of that.
Particularly, yeah.
Yep. Cool. Who's the next driver? Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I guess we'll just go down the line.
Yeah.
Do that. Okay, yeah, okay. I will sit down then. Sign on the navigator. Let's see here. Just make. So you're the next navigator, right? Because you were is the driver. What are the rules? Did the driver become the navigator next? Is that how it was? Or the other way around? I can't remember.
And the driver becomes navigator.
Okay, well, let's do that then. Okay. Oh,
Is that?
good thing we learned how to make it bigger.
So you might want to bump the size up on the.
Let's see if I can figure out. There we go.
Oh, you got the. Okay.
Geez.
Oh, that's the whole. That's not just the editor size. That's like the whole.
Oh, and let me get rid of the. Sorry, I had the participants up here as take up screen real estate on the screen. Let's go into full screen mode. There we go. Only the finest. For Portland State.
Adjust it, actually.
Okay, navigator. Let's do it.
What do we do?
So, well, okay, can I ask, should we refactor now, or should we get to a more of a point where we would need to refactor?
Here again, I think the refactoring that we called out is that we've got a magic constant, a magic string in love. So yeah, let's
Let's
refactor
make,
that.
Let's make the array for the score values.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Array for score.
So this would be in the tennis constructor, right?
So would it be an integer? It would be a string array, right?
Yeah.
This kind of, and what would you call it?
Scores.
Yeah, scores.
It doesn't necessarily need to be in the, I mean, I guess it doesn't too much, like it's gonna get created and need to just.
Yeah.
Regardless, so-
Should I initialize it? Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, first thing is
Nice,
20.
intelligent.
so it's 20, 30, 40.
Or what do we do with the view set?
Let's worry about that when we get there.
Or sorry, it's not
Let's
20, it's just.
Yeah.
All right.
okay. And then I guess we need to have a stored index for the players. So we need.
So player one in
Yeah.
index, player
Yeah.
two index.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
An index? Oh, so
Yeah.
basically the index within the array that their score is at.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they both
Okay.
start at love at 0.
So let's make a new private string function. Get player score by ID. Oh.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
never mind. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we'll just duplicate code. Whatever, it's fine.
I think, well, we're not even duplicating code because we're typing player one and then player two.
Yeah, that's true.
We could put like a switch case, or not a switch case, but like a true flag, like a flag in one of these to indicate player one or player two.
I'm kind of thinking maybe one thing we might want to focus on is just thinking about how we're going to update the score. So, like, should the score always update when we get it, or should it not?
I'd imagine the score updating is simply a function that increments the player index by 1.
But then we have all the other kind of stuff that we have to handle, right? Like the advantage and the deuce points. So
Who you want to write a test?
Oh, yeah.
can we not make our test one pass now by changing those returns on 23 and 27 to return the index within that array, like so return scores at player
Yeah.
one index?
Yeah, we're still kind of refactoring, I'd say, right? Let's make those actually return not a magic number. That's the refactoring first. So make those return
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah,
scores
score-
at at player 1 index.
And player 2 index on the other. And now we should have the test still pass, but it's not coming from a magical place.
All right, so yeah, we can make a new test, increment player 1, success. And then, yeah, we'll do a new tennis. Tennis T equals new tennis. Yeah, and then so we want to do, so we always want to first call T dot increment player 1.
It's an interesting term, increment, because like you don't increment in tennis, you score. So I just want to interject here, where like when we the terminology that we use, I encourage us to use the terminology associated with the domain with tennis. So like in our test case, it was like when player 1 scores.
Okay.
So maybe player 1 scores is the
Yeah.
I would recommend just like player 1 scores.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
We've
player
got
one
you know
scores.
player we've got the
Change
get
to
player 1 score, and then the verb is player 1
It's a function,
scores.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does an action.
And yeah, maybe keep the
Yeah.
And then there, and then now string equals player 1 score
maybe assert that player 1 score.
equal to
Oh, yeah, we probably don't
15.
need to check.
We don't really need to check player
Yeah.
2 score.
Well, I don't know. Wouldn't
I mean,
hurt.
I can see a
Okay,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we
sure,
should
the
because
player
it should
wants-
be the same, right? Like,
well, and player 2 score should still be 0, or should it still be love? Yeah, you're right. Is that what you're saying?
yep, yeah.
So player 1 score, so 2 should still be that. And I got some red here.
Yeah, let's make that reference, but let's also make the reference for player 2 while we're at it.
Put player 2 as well.
So we want to check out the specs.
Sure, it doesn't return anything.
It will fail.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Might not even build. There we go, cool.
There you go. What was long? Yeah. So nothing changed.
Alright. Simple math.
Alright.
Wow. Okay.
Great suggestion.
I love I just make stuff up.
Yeah,
So player index.
Yeah, player 1 index plus. Yeah. And then
pretty much.
that's it.
It seems like, yeah, that's basically it for now.
And let's see if this passes. It does.
And player 2 did not increment, which is good.
And I'll just add that in for that.
Maybe we can just duplicate that test there and just try for player 2, just to see.
Yeah.
And then, it should be basically the opposite way around, right? Yeah, that one's gonna fail now.
Yeah, you gotta swap the
Oh,
11 and 15.
Swap the 15. There we go.
Nice. Got 16 seconds left in the round, so
I think that's successful. I think that's a successful round.
yeah. Let's end it there. Nice. Okay. Let's see. So if you can commit that in, I think we got time for one more round after this. How'd it go? What'd you think?
I do think we are sort of heading towards doing a lot of things twice.
Oh, sorry. Say it again.
I think we're kind of heading towards doing a lot of things twice.
Oh, say more.
Well, I'm thinking that like a player scores, right? Like a generic player score. It doesn't have to be player 1 score. So I think there's an opportunity for refactoring there.
Make a single function that accepts an
Or
accepts an argument, and then the separate functions can call that.
Yeah, or
Okay, so yeah, so like heading towards a refactor. Okay, that's cool. Excellent.
Oh yeah, that make a player object that knows how to increment its own score. That makes sense.
Or the game, it could go, I mean, this kind of was a challenge, right? It's like, it could kind of go either way, of like, does the game increment the score, or does the player have its own score?
Mm.
They, I'm not really sure what the best approach is there, but, yeah, just like when I see player one scores and player two scores, it's two different functions.
I mean, it's one place to start, but then if we have a reason, we refactor it.
Well, I can already kind of start to see the reasoning, I guess, now that you bring that up. Because the reasoning could be that as we get into the deuces territory, we're going to be like doubling up on some of that logic, potentially, in these functions, if we just go about writing them the same way. So I guess, I mean, the thing that I was thinking from the beginning, maybe, but I thought it might be a little overkill, is just put the two player score, like make just like a tuple, with just like two integers in it, and those are just your player scores, 1 and 2, inside of that. Or you could just do like an array with two, like two components to make it easy. Yeah, and then you could compare them directly as well, and like not have to refer to them with different variables, and then maybe you could refactor these other
You could
functions.
even stack them on top of scores.
Yes, you could. You could have like a 2D array. there.
Okay, well let's dive into it then. So okay, let's get up on the screen here. Everybody got their
Oh, I have to click share. Surprise. Excellent. Great. All right.
so this build I see visible for testing is red. Can you run the test just to make sure it works?
Sure.
Oh, lots of things are red.
It looks like Java's very confused right now.
Let's see here. Can you build from the command line? Just do a Maven. Yeah, you're in the tennis directory. Let's do a Maven verify. I wonder if it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So my guess is that IntelliJ,
Doesn't know about the
jars.
JDK environment.
Well, no, it knows about string. It doesn't know about assert that. So it tells me that it's doesn't have the. Let's see here.
This is what happened the first time.
It's okay. Yeah, we'll get it fixed. Go over to the Maven. Sorry. Okay, so over on the right, the very far right, there's an M, which is the fourth icon down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, click on that, and then refresh the Maven project. So the little arrows point to each other. Yeah. So what is this going to do?
Oh, this please verify your project structure. I've run into this as well.
This is cool. This is nothing. Don't worry about
it. Gets confused and it's like, okay, it should be David Whitlock, Joy, and it's not. And
we can fix that, but this ultimately isn't. I don't think this is what's causing that problem. So then go back to the test and see if it. No, it's still underlined in red. That's not interesting. It's okay.
Loading your IDE.
What I see at the top is I see that you don't even have it doesn't know where to run from at all. It's not giving you any option to run. So
Okay.
that's where I'm thinking, okay, maybe the JDK isn't.
Again, it's not the JDK because it can find string. If it can't find string, it's JDK. It's the
find
other. It's like the JNet jar and the Hampress jar and stuff,
Mhm.
which means it's not getting it's not parsing the Maven projects correctly. Is what's, but go back to the tennis test.java. Oh, and it's also saying .java. So the tab. Sorry. I think so.
Sorry, there's also like all this.
Yeah, Zoom stuff. I totally understand. I hear you.
Oh, up here?
Yeah. Oh, nope, not that. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, did you just open tennis instead of like the whole
Yeah, you should
project?
open the whole
Mm.
thing.
Yeah, okay. So just close this IntelliJ project.
Open,
Kata's number 20.
Yeah, the top level directory, and then it'll find all the projects.
I don't know what's on So Quentin had it.
Yeah, and then reopen it.
I'll probably still reopen
Ah,
that.
okay,
too,
fine.
So it should just go to like file.
Yeah. Oh, we opened the new project. Okay, yeah, looks like we got it.
Or maybe not that, but move to the,
Yeah, so the top level checkout from GitHub. And don't worry, this is exactly what I do with my coworkers too. We find out like whose IntelliJ environment is completely messed up really quickly. So
There we go.
Yeah,
looking better.
it looks like it's seeing making stuff now.
Nice. So yep, just had to open up at the top level.
And then this.
Source.
Oh,
Let's run the test and like see.
yeah, make sure.
Yeah, that's
that's
looking way better. Cool. Yep,
That work.
nice.
Alright, so now, let's go over to the main thing. Let's expand the scores, I think, and add deuce and advantage to the end of the scores array.
fill out agree.
Alright guys, so where do we have to refactor in order to reach these levels?
I think we need to refactor in the scores methods, or at least have some kind of check that goes out to another potentially like private method that can see like, hey, are we in a deuce? Are we in an advantage scenario? Like, and kind of move with that knowledge. Because I think if I'm not wrong, when you're in a deuce situation, you have to get 2 points to actually get up to the advantage.
Yeah, so maybe we can.
I think
Is
so.
that,
one.
am I, just
No,
one,
so
just
you
one?
That
get,
was one.
You get a point and you're in advantage, and then if you get another point without the other person scoring, then you win. But if they score, you're back to deuce.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we do need to check in
We-
each of the scoring functions if they've scored up to an advantage point and then bring them both back down to deuce. And when they score
Yeah.
if they're scored into advantage and then they score again, then I think maybe we change the last part of the scores array to like winning or something like winning.
I think we should write some tests first, because right, 'cause this is
So,
like, you know, well, let's make sure we understand what it is that
Yeah.
we're what we're going for here.
No, let's write the test and make sure that after 40, the player wins and they don't go into deuce.
So it's like a
Player-
deuceless
player
game.
one wins. Can win.
But how are we gonna report, I guess, that one player has won?
It's gonna be like another method, like it returns a boolean or something. Yeah, as player 1-1.
Well, so we could, I mean, what is this? Where's the one we're looking for?
I'm kind of leaning in the same method. I'm sorry, what was your name?
Ethel.
Ethel. And like, because you're kind of going the way of like, we need a function that checks the status of both players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we should definitely, if anything, just test that that function can return, I guess, what do we want that function to return?
Well, what I wonder is basically just something that kind of acts as a barrier to the player 1 scores and the player 2 scores getting out of control and creating a situation that would be impossible in tennis.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you want to make sure we're handling like deuce just the way he said.
So,
Totally.
yeah. So that's why I think we should check for boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment somebody is about to go from 40 to deuce, we check if the other person is also at 40. If not, they win.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to check in here. We have to check both players, and maybe we can set like player 1 to 40 and then increment them to make sure that they win.
So hard to say, we do that plus player 1 scores 3 times. Usually.
Yep. To be continued at a later time because it's time for everybody else to do it. But let's do 2 minutes of retro on this. So this is a little different, or at least it felt a little different. What? Sorry, I'm leading the witness here. How did it feel?
Yeah,
Did it feel
I
different?
wish I could understand why I have that problem that I've had, because I had this on the first program too.
The thing with IntelliJ?
Yeah, I don't
Yep.
understand why, like, it didn't happen on my homework projects, I don't think. But I guess because I opened the POM file? But you said that should not have a problem.
Well-
basically it's about the Maven, like, kind of setup you've got going on. And I think here, it seems like maybe there are some dependencies that are defined on the parent level.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly
then
it.
you've got to be like in the parent level with IntelliJ for IntelliJ to say, hey, look at all these dependencies I've got.
Yeah, you basically see everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like when you're in the tennis level, it doesn't know about the, like all the dependencies of the parent and all the stuff that's going on up there. It's just looking at the tennis, and it seemed like the tennis level only had like, you know, exactly what was like built into Java. It didn't really have many dependencies defined that we were ending up using.
Yeah.
But they are defined on the parent level. So I think it was just a matter of like, can IntelliJ see what's going on? But I don't know.
Yep. No, I think that'd be my guess too, right? Based on what we're seeing. Okay. Yep. So yeah, we lost a couple of minutes because of that, but hey, look, all the brilliant minds, right? We figured it out right away. That's the great thing about mob programming. What else? What are observations? And this will be the last round, so sorry, after you won't have a chance to drive, but just like closing thoughts. What else did you see?
Well, we wanted to refactor, but we never did. We just kept adding more stuff in, and
Oh,
thought
interesting.
that
Yeah.
refactoring wasn't the right time for it. So we're trying to figure out what's the right time to refactor.
Well, if I got a chance to drive, it would have been refactored.
Oh yeah, I
Nice.
bet.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's it. So, thank you very much, gentlemen. Gentlemen people, sorry. Awesome. So, for everybody to stay awake, what did you think? What did you see? And I can get the lights. Oh, wait, everybody. There you go.
Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah, right, yeah. Dark mode. Yeah. Okay, so you're about to do this, but what are some of your thoughts or observations going in? And any questions before we start? No? Okay. So first, let me talk about the. Let's see here. I'll take control again, thanks, guys. It's me. And I'll share again. So I want to first talk about the kata that you'll all be doing, and that is the bank OCR. So OCR stands for Optical Character Recognition. I don't know if this is a concept that you've come across in your career yet. I'm sorry. And it's basically, having a computer read things that look like numbers and then turn them into numbers and process them as such. So yeah, here's the kata. I'll just post it in the tonight's mobbing kata. So the idea here is that the program will take an input, or your unit test will have an input that looks something like this. There's 9 digits, and they are all like digital clock style, with pipes and underbars and spaces. Yeah. And the whole idea is that when you get an input like this, you should return a string, I guess. Yeah, sure, string. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, a string that contains like the number 1, or yeah, like the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for this. And so then what you need to do is you need to be able to recognize these numbers. Have the program recognize these numbers within within some text that looks like this. So there's multiple lines involved. And they have various characters in them to then form these larger characters that you then recognize. And honestly, I think user story 1 is where we should focus tonight. If your mob happens to get this all working and you're happy with it, go ahead and look at user story 2, but resist the urge to try to design something big. Instead, let's aim on taking the next hour and a little bit to mob on this problem. Any questions about the kata and what we're looking to do? Okay. Yep.
How is it getting input, like in the context of how we're coding?
I don't know. I don't think it really matters. What I recommend that you do is you start with a unit test. So hey, you could read it from a file, you could read it from the command line or wherever. Do something that's fast though. So you want to be able to focus on implementing logic. So I just say write a unit test where you enter this thing in as a big I don't know, either one single string that's spread over multiple lines. I should probably just do that. One single string that has new lines in it. It does this, and then have the bank OCR kata convert that into a single line string that has the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in it. That's where I would start, but it's up to you and your Bob. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording now, and we're going to do a couple of things.